There's a non-surgical procedure called prolotherapy, and it's the answer to those aching backs, shoulders, and even knees. Here to tell us more about this holistic method is Dr. Eric Snowden, the director at Sharp Pain Management and DFW Health and Wellness. Welcome, Dr. Snowden.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay, so prolotherapy, it's a big word. Will you explain exactly what it is?
Sure. Prolotherapy is short for proliferative therapy, and it's a technique by which we use dextrose, which is sugar water, or we use serapin, which is an extract from the pitcher plant, and we inject it into the ligaments, the tendons, the joints, and what it actually does is cause the area to heal. And it's incredible because a great side effect is that it reduces inflammation and it also gets rid of the pain, but it actually causes the area to heal, which is incredible.
That's great. And you said there's another word for it, sclerotherapy.
Sure, and it's just a pseudonym for it.
A pseudonym for it, fantastic. Okay, who is this right for?
It's right for everybody. Our youngest patients are teens and preteens. My oldest patient was 100, turned 100 as a patient of mine.
Wow, that's amazing.
And every walk of life is great for everybody.
Great, so if you're in pain, then it's something to look into if your joints are in pain.
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's wonderful. So aching joints, they can be also treated with steroids, is that right?
Sure, but steroids has a different effect. For one thing, steroids stays in your body for a long time, and there's other consequences of steroids. One thing that steroids do is that they break down the tissue, and that's not good. Also, prolonged steroid use not only breaks down the bone in the area, but it breaks down all the soft tissue in the area. So steroids can actually make you weaker, not stronger.
Yeah, our producer Colleen was telling me that one time she had a steroid shot and it made like almost an indentation in her arm.
Sure. There are times when you need steroids, but that shouldn't be your first line of defense.
So this is a great alternative to start out with.
Sure, it's great.
It's great. So tell us about some success stories that you've had.
Sure, I had a patient who was a police officer, and he was at the gym working out, and he was doing shoulder dips, and he was doing them weighted, and he partially tore his rotator cuff muscle.
Ouch.
And he was referred to surgery. Now the problem with surgery is that a great many of them fail and actually leave you worse. In fact, Ohio Division of Workmen's Compensation did a study, and they found that 74% of the back surgeries actually fail.
Wow, that's a huge percentage.
Sure it
fail.
is.
Yeah.
Sure it is. And they're 3 times less likely to go back to work once they've had the surgery. So this police officer, he still had a lot of time left in his career, and he didn't want to go have surgery. So he was actually able to come in and he received prolotherapy, and we co-managed him between conservative chiropractic rehab and prolotherapy with our pain manager, and he was able to go back to work at 100% without ever having surgery.
That's amazing, and actually brings me to my next question, and that is that a lot of times a chiropractor like you would be very willing to work with another medical doctor to work together to make sure that the perfect pain management plan has been put together. Is that right?
Oh, of course. You always have to put the patient first. And there's an old adage that if you go to a carpenter, then everything needs a hammer.
Right.
Okay. So you go to a place where you have multiple health specialists, and we can all work together and in the most conservative manner bring you back to optimal health.
Well, I think doing something like this that would be a lot less invasive than surgery would be a really interesting first step anyway to try to manage these.
You always want to start as conservatively as possible, being as least invasive as possible.
Sure.
You don't want to traumatize the body. Very often with surgery, you spend more time healing from the scar tissue from where they had to cut to get into you than the original problem that you had. So with us, we try to avoid it when we can.
And do the injections hurt?
No, actually, we numb you.
Oh,
you know,
great.
We either numb you, or depends on the exact situation. Sometimes we can do IV sedation, or sometimes we'll do something that's more local, but I've never heard that complaint.
Is it something that you do one time, or is it a repeated process?
It's repeated. On average, prolotherapy is done 3 to 5 times. And the reason is because, one, you're healing the area. You're not just blocking the pain. And you're using natural substances like dextrose or like serapin. And so the same way that when you use herbs, that it doesn't work like that. But I will say that our average patient is pain-free within 3 visits.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Snowden. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. It's interesting information. If you'd like more information about this holistic method of treating pain, you can contact Dr. Snowden with Sharp Pain Management and DFW Health and Wellness. His website is dfwhealthandwellness.com, or you can call him 214-872-3391.